Let's fight, let's fight, let's fight. Good to see each and every one of you guys and welcome in the ring. You know, we can't do this program without you guys. It's Friday and we've done 4 days thus far. This is our fifth night on and we're ready to go. We fired up and ready to go. We're so privileged for all of you guys who joined us last night, like Winston Henry and Miguel Barrow and Pamela McKenzie and Rupert August, Green Thumb Guyana, this organization / this person on YouTube. Those folks who are joining us on Twitter, we are privileged to see each and every one of you. We are also privileged for our folks joining us on Facebook. We were holding there for our colleague Randolph Critchlow to finish the rush. We were tuned into watching what's happening there. Good to see Randy out with young economist Eslo. Is it Eslo? Am I calling his name right? I'm a little freaky with the pronunciation. Young economist doing great things. Good to see you guys there in the rush. Randy, have a fantastic weekend. Guys, have a fantastic weekend. We are privileged to be picking up this leg of the second hour of our programming, and great to see all of you guys wherever you're joining us from. You know when you come into the Coliseum, you know when you come into the ring, you know when you come into the arena, you gotta share the live stream. We want to see those emojis. We want to see the weather where you guys are. Things tight, folks. Things tight. You know you gotta share the live stream. We want other people to benefit. We want to be stingy, even though things are tight, folks. We are going to be joined tonight, coming up, by MP Juretha Fernandes and also MP Tabitha Sarabo-Halley. We think we're going to have Tabitha with us as well. At least that's what the producers are telling me. We're going to have Tabby, we're going to have Rita, Juretha and Tabitha, both members of parliament. They should be joining our discussion a little later on in the evening. But guys, you are here, and that's the best part of the program. You here, guys. We out here 1 year plus, still going strong. We out here, people. Good to see each and every one of you. How is the weather where we are? We know it's very cold in some places. Very rainy right now, locally flooded in lots of places. And we're going to talk a little bit about that a little later on in our program. Good to see you, Joylyn Cook and Alexis Douglas, Denise London, Welchman, Pamela Gurek. Good to see Norris. All the fantastic folks who join us day after day, month after month, week after week, guys. It's our privilege, really a privilege, having so many of you join us in the ring, guys. It is our privilege being here, serving you up day after day, night after night. Thanks to those persons who joined our midday podcast. You guys really, truly made a difference. Today we opened up the lines. It was Open Mic Friday, and so many folks called us. We were so privileged to hear folks at home in Guyana, folks in the diaspora joining the live stream, joining the podcast below the belt, and telling us some of their thoughts about what's going on locally, some of what's going on at their end, weather-wise, and bringing some other issues to the fore, guys. It's so great to see so many of you on, and so grateful for all of those persons who would have called us during our midday podcast and inviting you guys to lunch with us. Today I had some coffee with cream, coffee and milk, and I had some fantastic puri, guys. But if you all enjoying our podcast, you can't know everything. You can't know everything. So we're just giving you guys some little tidbits there. That podcast is Monday to Friday, and we're considering extending it over the weekend as well. But for now, it's Monday to Friday, 12 to 1 is during lunch, is during the official lunchtime, 12 to 1. We know some of them businesses that you are working with giving you lunch anytime, and lunch is supposed to be an hour. Some of those business places telling you all you got to take 15 minutes lunch and 20 minutes lunch. Some people wicked, and we have been getting lots of complaints that lots of these businesses are not paying NIS, especially for young staff. I'm talking about in Guyana, lots of businesses not paying NIS for their young staff. Folks, correct that. You know what they say? Them young people got a long time before they can need NIS. And so even though they are deducting NIS from the wages and salaries, they are not transmitting that to the National Insurance Scheme, NIS. It's wickedness. Y'all wicked. Pay the people NIS and pay it right. Come on, folks. I remember that as we were talking about working and lunch and all of that. Some people not paying NIS, folks. I should have had that in the stories loading because it's something that we're investigating. We're hearing there's a security company also in Bartica Region 7, paying people some next to nothing wages. Knock out the security company that used to be there, bring in their own people, and now paying people next to nothing. The people accustomed getting pay for their day off. Now no day off, no day off pay. You can understand people work in this country for $60,000 a month, folks. How should people exist on that? You're going to understand why we see some people doing some very, very strange things. Ingrid King, Rhonda Edwards, Dawn, Dolette, Prince, Onika, people getting paid next to nothing, right? And you know what is even shocking? The folks told us when they go to a Ministry of Labor under this jagabat, Joe Hamilton, he telling them there's nothing that can be done. Since they come in, they're only talking hot air about increasing the minimum wage in the private sector. Nothing doing. They have no intentions of people working for $60,000 per month. How people must live on that? How people must live on that? You tell me that in this country, you lose Irfan Ali with $60,000 a month. I'm telling you, within 1 month, he on the streets begging. Within 1 month, how could we paying people in this country $60,000 a month, 300 US per month? Apparently, they're still bringing slave ships here. The Pinta, the Nina, the Santa Maria, and whoever else. Apparently, they're still, or the Pinta, the what school you went to. You know, they're still bringing slave ships here. They got a lot of slave ships down Regent Street. Park up. $60,000. Well, this slave ship in Bartica. And then you're making styles to pay people on the off day. And that's $60,000 and then tax it yet. You imagine when they tax that. $60,000. Some people got it rough. Things tight, folks. Nonetheless, I went off there a little bit in that aside, but those stories are loading. Good to see you, Simona Williams. Good to see you, Gwyneth Jones and Sheena Hazel. Good to see you. I got some special shout out to folks. The guys are telling me to trot along. Folks, I get very worked up, you know. Look, God knows I want to fight somebody tonight. Lord knows, God knows, I want to fight somebody. But I want to give a couple of folks a special shout out this evening. Great to see all of you. But some folks really, really help us along the way, and we want to say a very good, give them a good shout out. Y'all gonna tie myself up now. This the producers we got here. Tell me to slow down. The producer, y'all stop it. Good. That being said, I want to give a shout out. I'm looking in my notes, making sure I have the name right. I ain't want a problem with some people. Good. I think I find it now. I ain't want a problem with some people. So I want to give a shout out to Nikki Fitzpatrick. Nikki, how you doing? we hear that Nikki is a really, really ardent in the ring fan, and we want to give a special shout out to Nikki, who is holidaying right now in New York City. She enjoying the cold. She went to see some places, and Nikki just home every day. Place cold. Again, so a big shout out to Nikki, also to Margaret Nelson, to Philip Bunbury and Robert Archer. All of you beautiful, fantastic people. Onika Brahma Paddy, Wilton Blue, Laverne Haricharan, Kelman Prasad. I see also Paul De Andros with us. Folks, we are so privileged, Naldo Grant, to have folks like June Peters and Anthony Higgins Arjun with us. Why don't you smash that emoji button? Let us see some of the emotions out there on social media tonight. And we also want you guys to share the live stream. You people on Christopher Jones' page, come on. God knows I don't want to fight some of you, but I'm going to fight some of you if I got to fight some of you. You folks on the APNU AFC page, if I got to fight some of you to share the live stream. That's it. We going to fight. Share the live stream, those of you in APNU AFC page. You folks, especially on the AFC page. Oh, y'all don't make me hands fall tonight. Share the live stream. Coming up, guys, again, we're supposed to have, according to the producers, we're going to have Tabitha Sarabo-Halley. I like Tabitha. I love Tabitha. Tabitha is very, very articulate. very sharp on the issues, and so is Juretha Fernandes. So is MP Juretha Fernandes, and I'm looking forward to our time together with you guys this evening, exploring some of these myriad issues, the plenty issues. They're enough. They're enough. Folks, let's head to the fight card. Wherever you're joining us from, and remember, guys, we need you to partner with us. We're running on water, you know. We are running on water. It takes something to keep the lights on. It takes something to keep the internet on. It takes something to keep the staff on staff. It takes something, guys. Could I have an amen? And we need your support. We need you guys to come on board and to partner with us. We got so many platforms available at your convenience. The Cash App, $ in the ring 592, PayPal in the ring 592 at gmail.com. MMG 6276963, and we ain't got no problem with Western Union. We ain't got no problem with MoneyGram. Folks, come on board with us and help us to do our programs more efficiently, more effectively, without having to worry about how do we get through next month or to get through next week. And that's why we ask you guys, you come on board and partner with us. You see, when we don't have to depend on the trenches and the Jagabats, the Nakavakamites, the Sadducees and the Pharisees for anything. We can talk the things. We can talk what we want to talk. Not a lot of people in this position like us, you know. And thanks in part to those of you who put your money where your mouth there. Y'all are only vigilant on social media, and then you ain't doing nothing else besides that. You put your money where your mouths are. And folks, we are tremendously heartened by that. But we know things tight. We know things tight, and everybody can do it, folks. But for $5 per month, $1,000 dollars, $10, 15, 20, we can do wonders. And we hope we've been demonstrating that. We have the podcast, we have this evening's program, and guys, we ain't done yet. We're rolling out some other digital products for your consumption very, very soon. Bear with us on that. Let's head to the fight card. Share the live stream. It's Friday night, but we ain't backing down. Boots on the ground. It's Friday night, but we ain't backing down. Boots on the ground. We can knock glass after this. Thanks for joining us. These are some of the things, rather, that would have transpired over the last 24 hours. We want to bring to your attention on the fight card. Let's start around the region. Y'all know anything that this Jagabat, this Jebusites, this Nakavakamite involving, we like to point it out. We like to point out because he had a lot of things to say, and now purgatory on the doorstep. Real purgatory. You know who we're talking about. This Jagabat here. The Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. You know the man, I know the man, we all know the man, Ralph Gonzalez's name. He liked them people business. Bring it up big on the screen for us. He liked to be in people's business. He liked that. But when things come on his doorstep, he enable. Folks, he enabling. Look what happening to him. He like these Jacobats say, forcing people to take vaccine, but my body, my choice. We agree with you. Yet we advocate, if you got a choice, folks, we advocate, get vaccinated to safeguard you and your family. Yet it's your body and it's your choice. So 32, we say 32, but in Guyana, 32 policemen resign over the COVID mandate, mandating people, you got to take it or beat out. Well, the people beat out. The fellow Ralph, you know, you talk to the average Vincentian, the average citizen of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and they will tell you, we're tired of Ralph. We're tired of Ralph and his cabal. We're tired of them, right? So the people in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, they got their own Jagabats to deal with. And this is the chief one. This is the St. Vincentian Papa Jagabat. Yep, this is the man. This is the fellow. You know, it is hardship for the people there. But every time we see this one here, little purgatory, we got pointed out. You know them. And we come into Grandma Jagabat at GECOM. Hold on. We come into she. We come into the one Claudette who swing. Claudette who swing, we come into Claudette. So folks, our thoughts and prayers with the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, with the hardship bestowed on them because of the poor leadership of people like Ralph Gonzalez. And who won't like it? Who vex? That's our tagline for our podcast, Below the Belt. Who vex lose? Y'all try with that. And so that is some of what is happening around the region. Closer to home, catfish. When you see these people operate, You see catfish them operate. Let me try to get a little more room. When you see catfish them operate, you get the impression COVID finished. They have demonstrated Marilyn, Camille Van Veen, Michelle McCain, Samoa Williams, Lily Paul, and Diane Britton. They have demonstrated some absolutely poor leadership on COVID governance, on COVID-19 management. Absolutely poor leadership. Catfish, poor leadership. That is what he has demonstrated. And not only in that, but that in particular this evening, poor leadership on COVID-19. Folks, why don't you take the opportunity and share the live stream? Some other folks like say, we need it for the likes, we need it for the loves. Folks, we like to see you share that live stream. We like to see the emojis. Let us know how you're receiving the program. And do that for us. Thousands of you have tuned in from across the world. Come on, folks. Let's use these numbers for something productive. Share the live stream, and we want to see those emojis as well, Sheena Hazel. You guys know where we are with COVID. We rehearsed it here often. When these jagabats came into office, they inherited 474 confirmed COVID-19 cases, 21 deaths. We're over 1,000 deaths. We're hastening on to 40,000 COVID-19 positive cases locally if we haven't surpassed that already. But when you look at them in comparison to other folks, you get the impression that COVID-19 finished. So forget that Frank Anthony, that other jagabat, installed Minister of Health. Forget. Frank has just told the country that we are positive for the COVID variant, the Delta variant. They have finally, after many, many months of Paho and Carissa Etienne, Dr. Carissa Etienne, telling us we got the Delta variant here, they just discovered, they've just agreed with them. And no sooner the day after Frank tells us we have the COVID variant here, the Delta variant, we discover that in Brazil, there is the Omicron variant. Now, they probably got this name from the Transformers. Omicron and Omnitron and all the trons. But it's right by the border, and chances are we should be operating as though the Omicron variant is here already. That should be our posture. Just today, we learned also that Bermuda, I'm trying to get the name of the place right, not Barbados, Bermuda has just discovered their first case of the Omicron variant as well. So the thing's circulating, it's percolating in the Caribbean, right? But these jackass don't understand all that. When you see them operate, you think COVID over. Look, Irfan, meeting some people, some foreign people. The people mask up, head to toe. Not Irfan, right? Our government has a policy. This administration has regulations that govern COVID-19, but they break all of it. They break all of it. All of it. It talks about social distancing. I thought you were supposed to greet people by hitting on the elbow. You know, you knock elbow, knock elbow, knock elbow. No. They don't understand all that. They break their own COVID regulation. So no social distancing, no mask wearing, and you want to know why COVID is killing more people. 5 dead yesterday, 2 dead today. And why the infection rate keeps going up. They wonder. Because they talk one thing, but their action betrays their real intention. Their actions betray what they're saying. Betray their intentions. Right? So you will think COVID done. You would think COVID done. So there's no elbow no more, no mask. This gentleman who was meeting with this installed crew, team installation, the whole team had a mask. The whole team. But this jagbat, he ain't got time with that. No time with that at all, folks. Right? So let's see what happens next on the fight card. These jagabats, Father have mercy on us. Look at another jagabat here. Another jagabat, catfish jagabat. Priya back at it. Your Minister of Education. Priya is back at it, folks. So Priya is reported to say she carry more schools to Region 3. Good. Oh, that's good. Nice of y'all. It's time y'all build something and build something proper. Good. So she's telling the country or telling the folks in Region 3, you know, Region 3 different. I showed y'all savagery last night with your hand in that thing there. Region 3 people different. Not everybody, but some of them. Oh, you think you're getting a nice little church girl in savagery? You know savagery, your eye closed, savagery in your wallet. Take warning. Take warning. So she's telling them she's bringing a school. And you know, Guyanese people ain't got manners. The installed Minister of Education is telling folks she wants to put another secondary school in Region 3. And you know one of the comments we saw? Just don't name it Christchurch. That's one of the comments we saw. Folks, who don't know? Who don't know? That's the comment. People, Minister of Education said she's bringing a school, a secondary school to Christchurch, to Region 3. And the comment is just don't name it Christchurch. Folks in this country, you know, Ingrid King, Alicia, Gladstone Matthews, Shawnette Barnes, we are not an easy people at all. That being said, she says she's taking a nursery school, or a primary school rather, to tuition. Well, the people from tuition call us immediately to let us know they already have a nursery school. And they ain't got so many children there that a second nursery school is required. So we want to believe that you know, Priya know too much about this region. I think Priya is from, where Priya is from originally. I don't think it's from Region 3. It eludes my grasp currently. But something tells us that we'd rather side with the people in Region 3 who tell us there's no need for an extra nursery school at tuition because they already got a nursery school. But school sharing out. Priya says if she had one wish this Christmas among her 3 wishes, it's so that they'll have this secondary school and perhaps this primary school in Region 3. Well, when 2 schools go into Region 3, what's the 3rd wish, Priya? I would love to know. Inquiring minds want to know, folks. It's good to see so many of you in the live stream tonight. Rowena Cummins and Richard Fordyce, Tracy Mullen, Clive Barrows here, Orban Doncook. You know, some of y'all hardies, y'all would refuse. Y'all rather them boys come and rob y'all than y'all come on board. Y'all rather these savageries in your life come and rob y'all body then y'all partner with us at 2 cents when the month comes. Folks, why don't you use the opportunity? Change y'all ways for the new year, man. Oh, change y'all dirty, stick and dirty, wicked ways for the new year, folks. And come on board and to partner with us, help our program to grow from strength to strength. Moving on to the fight card, folks. Look what happened with the Jagabats. Pocketori, they have learned nothing. They have learned nothing from the national flood we had recently. Plague after plague since these Jagabats, Jebusites, and Hippocytes came into office August 2nd, 2020. They have learned nothing. You had flood, you got COVID, you got Delta variant, Omicron. They are learning that was Pocketori. Today, the rain won't stop fall. The hydromet officer sunshine, rainy skin. Hydromet officer says snow, rainy skin. So there is flooding nationwide. And nationwide, there is flooding. And we saw some of that quite recently in places on the East Bank, on the East Coast. We saw it in Georgetown, and people are reporting in lots of areas in the country. Flooding. Could we show that flooding there? This is the East Bank, right? One resident complained to us, the woman said $3 million she bought that land for, develop it, right? And these Jagabats not getting the situation right. Cochran walking, door breakdown, drains haven't been dug. They have learned nothing from the last national flood. Absolutely nothing. They ain't taking learning. They ain't like studies. They ain't like read. They ain't like research. They're just there. Folks, they're just dead. Pocketori. That's what's transpiring. Agriculture Minister ain't learned nothing. Saw him today through a statement out of the installed minister's office. Zulfikar Mustafa blaming the mayor. Blaming the mayor. All these guys are doing. Bull Page, Clive Jackson, Jorman Osborne, Roy Garraway, Olive Farrell, all these guys are doing to stymie the work of City Hall, stymie the leadership of Ubraj Narain. He got the gall, he got the gumption, he got the balls after taking the blue pill to say that Ubraj must take better care to ensure the pumps in this season working, in this city working. He know about pumps. He know about pumps. Look, Mustafa, all right, catch yourself. Catch yourself. You're going to do better work at central government and stop stymieing the work of the municipalities. Stop stymieing the work of the NDCs. Stop stymieing the work of the RDCs out of sheer spite and vindictiveness. Folks, the PPP, the wicked, the stink, and the dirty. That's who they be. That's who they be. So more purgatory. Look what happened here. Under them. They didn't take care of the flood. They get time with flood. They get time if you were discomforted. They're in their big mansions. They're in their big mansion. Like they're that in there. They're in Region 3. You know? Buy up a whole set of property in their neighbors. If you see the big spread, in there alone, got about 20 acres of land, big mansion. All of a sudden, you know, all of a sudden, just the other day, if in there, who gave me Yala Black House, we come into that. Just the other day, in there, minister, big, massive sprawl of property in Region 3. Y'all think easy? You understand why Sarah Lynch them had a statement yesterday? You understand why Sarah Lynch says that you need the Natural Resource Fund to guarantee transparency, integrity, and honesty in how the oil wealth going to spend, how the oil wealth is going to be spent. Bare purgatory in this country. Look, not a day goes by when something you can't even explain happen. Watch, this truck driving good. This truck survived the last 5 years. Soon as these jagabas come in, ploops, the truck gone up in flames. The truck gone up in flames on the quarantine highway. The driver, bewildered. He know what happened. He just going good. The truck side tired of them. Bloops. Floops. Flames. Purgatory in this country, folks. Purgatory. I want to hasten on. Shanet Barnes and Marlon Tory to show some of you what is transpiring in this once beloved and beautiful country of ours. Things tight. Tabitha things tight. Juretha things tight. Look story here now. 18-year-old man. 18-year-old. He now get caught up burglarizing a Chinese supermarket. You are 18 years old. You ain't started living your life yet. At 18 years old, which was about 3 years ago, I had so many ideas. Right? So many ideals about life. At 18 years old, you still got your mother milk in your face. You still got your little teenage sweat and all of that. You burglarizing supermarket, things tight. So this 18-year-old was caught in this supermarket on the East Coast. Wang Hang, I think is the name of the Wang Han supermarket. 18 years old. What happened to this brilliant economy that this Jagabat Ashley Singh promised through these installed people? Economic dynamism and resilience was the theme of it. How they're going? 18 years old, and instead of him doing something productive, he robbed a supermarket. Things tight, and they told you even himself, tell y'all, brace for Christmas. Y'all think 18 is bad? Look story here, how things tight now. 13 years old, and he gone over by his neighbor to rob the people, to thief the stuff. 13 years old, 13, and he's stealing cash and jewelry from the neighbor. I think he relate, and this is on the folk. This is Region 3, so I think this is Savitri family here. 13. We tell about Savitri last time. He says, girl from the supermarket, man. Peeping, and then she hand in the register. This can be Savitri family. 13. And he gone by the neighbors, thieving the jewelry, and so forth. Things tight. Right? And I'm sure this is somewhere by 19 fraud charges over the river there. 19 fraud charges. Something in the area, around that area. Something in the area, in that vicinity. Something in the area, in that location there. You understand me? 13. Well, if 19, if at 18 years old, you still got your mother milk in your face, imagine 13. What kind of socialization are these children being exposed to? You understand why the World Bank told us recently that the educational system not engaging the young people, not engaging the students. Because clearly at 13, he should be in school. No, he had a neighbor thieving the people jewelry and the cash. Thieving the people jewelry and the cash. Things tight, right? And more than things being tight, things about to get dark. Things about to get dark. Now they ask this cross at GPL. You know the man, I know the man, we all know the man. The PPP government fired Bardindial, and the PPP company, the PPP hired him back. The PPP fired Bardindial for mismanagement, and the same Jagabats hired him back. Now they ask him about blackouts at Christmas. He said he cannot guarantee. He said GPL got the capacity to give power, but he cannot guarantee. This Jagabat Dindial. So y'all brace yourselves. And when they get the blackout, that's how them boys come in. The 18-year-olds, the 13-year-old, that's how them boys come in. So brace yourself. Things tight. It's hunger and blackout. Hunger and blackout. The PPP come back. Fraudulent government. That is who they are. A fraudulent installed regime. Well, if they're fraudulent, if they get installed, the World Bank said blackouts. The children can't access education online because of persistent blackouts, like persistent poverty. That book by Tyrone Ferguson, persistent poverty, persistent blackout, the World Bank says. Food insecurity. Flag this installed administration for food insecurity. And then they flag them also for poor student engagement, poor school engagement in this COVID period, right? Demonstrated by 13-year-olds out of school robbing people. When you get an installed government, that is what it produces. Who vex lose, who vex vex. That when you get an installed government, this is what it produces. I know what else it produces. What happened at GECOM today? The installation of Vishnu Prasad. That is also what it produces. Who vex lose? Y'all don't rise we. Trenches. Y'all don't rise we. We talk the things. This is an installation of Vishnu Prasad at GECOM. And I said it here on this program weeks ago. This was going to be the outcome. Don't fool yourself. We told you about 2 weeks ago, right here in the ring, we were calling it. We were calling it. And this is the part of the discussion I want to invite the Right Honorable Tabitha Sarabo-Halley to the main event this evening. And we're going to be joined by MP Juretha Fernandes as well. Folks, I want to welcome the one and only Member of Parliament, Tabitha Sarabo-Halley. One of my favorite parliamentarians. But Tabitha, don't tell the rest, I tell you though. Welcome in the ring, Tabitha. How are you doing?
I am doing well. Good night, Sherrod. Good night to your viewers. I'm doing okay. It's a lot is happening in the country. And so there's a lot to deal with, but I'm coping. I'm coping.
Yeah. You know, all that we keep reporting about crime locally, you know, these jackrabbits still want to say the crime going down. Like we blind, crime and flood and blackout. They come back, Tabitha. They come back. Show off any part of that. They come back.
No, they what they live off of is propaganda. So they believe as much if they continue to repeat lies that people will somehow believe that it's actually true. And so they have to continuously peddle and the mistruths and the misinformation and hope that the people who would vote for them would believe what they're saying against all odds and against what is actually happening in front of their faces. So that's what they deal with.
And you know what? In all of that, Tabitha, we didn't even talk about the high cost of living and how things going up, right? I know you probably told your husband, say, Huzzy, we had the last bread for the season 2 days ago. Things, bread got up. Champ, you gotta enjoy this bread pot without bread, you know. And some folks told us on social media, they said sugar gone up, so that might affect the carriage rate. They said meat gone up, so that might affect the obstacles in the paper. But so you're just drinking boiling water because bread gone up too. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I was actually having a conversation just like like that last evening, and we were actually on YouTube looking on how to bake bread, because apparently that may be the way we have to go back to. A lot of us are young, and a lot of us grow up on going to the shop to buy bread, but now we're in a place where we need to relearn what our parents used to do, which is to bake bread for yourself because of the cost. But even now, the flour, the sugar, everything that you need to bake the bread has gone up. So it's like you're between a rock and a hard place, whether or not to bake the bread or just go without it in this season. So it's really a harsh reality for a lot of Guyanese, and Christmas is a time where a lot of persons try to save up and have a good Christmas day with their families, a good holiday with their families. But it's becoming more and more difficult as the day progresses, with the cost of living increasing and everything else that is just going in the wrong direction right now.
Fantastic. I think we're going to be joined now by MP Juretha Fernandes, but you're my favorite MP. Don't tell Shay says so. Let's see if we can bring her in. Juretha, welcome, welcome, welcome. We were just talking about you and how wonderful you are. How are you doing, Juretha? Welcome to the discussion.
I'm going to let it slide tonight just because, Tabitha's here. Tabitha's awesome. So on that ground alone, I'm going to let it slide.
It sounds like you hear something. If you're beautiful, you're beautiful. You don't worry, but then nothing. That being said, folks, I felt as though I was in the twilight zone just this afternoon because I was listening to Irfan's presentation to the Biden Summit, World Summit and something. And the only trump card they have, and it's a false trump card, is this 2020 elections. They always talk about rigging. And why it was the twilight zone to me is that here you got the install regime, Catfish and the others, rigging local government elections by deferring it. So it means that all of their candidates who are in positions of chairman and mayor and so on will remain in those positions, rigging local government election, rigging the process at GECOM by installing their man there to perpetuate more rigging. And here on the world stage, talking about democracy and transparency and good governance. My God, they ain't got no shame.
They really don't. I listened to his speech today, and I found it quite remarkable. But I think you can't really put anything past the PPP. I was trying to figure out who exactly he was speaking to. Who was he trying to convince? Because I think all of those persons who have persons here in the embassies and the ambassadors and the charge affairs that are here are quite aware of what has happened over the last year. Even those who may have been a part of the process to unseat the David Grange administration and install the PP, I'm quite sure that at this particular point, they're quite upset with the decision they made in 2020. And so I'm not sure who exactly he was trying to speak to. I think he was trying to convince himself that he's not a dictator and he's not an autocratic, because all of the statements that he made clearly indicated that he was basically speaking about himself, but almost suggesting that it was the APNU administration that he was speaking about. And it was really galling to listen to. But I think he's only trying to make himself believe those things, because there's a particular part that he said that I wanted to repeat. He said autocratic and dictatorship can become pandemics crossing borders and infecting political processes across the globe, particularly affecting the poor and vulnerable. And I'm listening to him and I'm like, but this is what is happening in Guyana right now. So
this is y'all.
Who are you talking to? And what exactly are you trying to get over to the world leaders across the world? So he needed to say that, I guess. But I know the persons on the ground, the Guyanese here and Guyanese in the diaspora, are very much aware of what is happening and the fact that the PP is a dictatorship, that they're governing that when they're far away, removed from democracy. So that Summit for Democracy, I'm quite sure, was really for them to understand what they're supposed to be doing and how they're supposed to be governing the country, because they clearly don't know what it is that they're attempting to do.
Yep. Juretha?
Sure, we have to be absolutely correct. We've been through all of these discussions prior, and I often tell people, if you want to actually see what is going on with the PPP, if you don't want to hear it from us, if you want to judge for yourself whether or not their government is one that is dictatorial, you just go and do the research yourself. Go and research what is a dictatorship, how they operate, and you will see that every single last box is checked off by the PPP and how they run this country. Every single thing, the way in which they have their security system set up, the way in which they operate with media personnel. You were speaking about, I believe it was last night, Sherrod, if I'm not mistaken, or the night before, with Frank Anthony, actually, his response to the media operative.
Last night.
Dictatorship government, they believe that they don't have a right to inform the public as to what is going on. They try to control the media. We have been speaking to the fact that the government is trying to weaponize the courts and all of these things. When you listen to the speech put forward by Fernandes today, he has to come back and talk about rigging of elections and so forth, because there's nothing else that he could possibly speak about. That is a drum that they have been beaten to from day one, and they're going to continue to beat at it. But guess what, Sharon? They do not have the power, the strength in any argument to actually come after being a year plus in office to say, oh, well, there was an attempt to rig the election in 2020, because that's their claim, right?
And here is the evidence, because with all the court cases, the plethora of court cases, no evidence produced yet, and
Not
the case
only
is
that,
dragging out,
not
languishing
only
in
that,
in the
not
courts.
only that, that was his call today. But where is the electoral reform that is going to secure our electoral system? If this was such a big issue, and these are the things that we need to be hammering at. The actually draft amendment that is being circulating right now, they're yet to put one single line when it comes to sanitizing the list. The same man is going forward and talking about rigging elections. And then today we had the GECOM chair and the installation of the new CEO.
Vishnu Prasad, yep.
Going on there. This is ridiculous. We know what is going on. We had your podcast was very informative in going down the line of speaking to the fact of the corruption within this country. No one wants to hear how you got into office. My God, you're in office right about now. Do what you're supposed to do in office. That is the fact of the day. You're not doing what you're supposed to do in office, and you want to lay back on this 2020 issue. You know why? Because you have done absolutely nothing from 2020 to date to change lives of Guyanese people. Cost of living is on the increase. Persons are suffering every single day. And the president goes and talk about a 2020 matter that they are yet to prove. And I say this to the Guyanese people, the PPP is yet to prove, just in one instance, that the fraud that was uncovered was not so. They are yet to prove any to be untrue. When the glaring evidence that was put forward and that was discovered during the recount states, everyone knows the missing poll books, everyone knows those things on stamped ballots and those things. Those are knowledge.
Oaths of identity.
Even, and I have to throw in this by now, Sherrod. I noted that the deputy speaker was suddenly speaking about persons that have died and they are still on the list. And that comment was pretty strange to me, because the deputy speaker, whilst we were in the recount, he actually put every effort that he could have found to work against the fact that we were calling these things out. He made it into as though it was some frivolous matter. You should just bat it one side. But now I'm glad, I'm happy, and I encourage him to continue to find his voice and speak out against these atrocities, because the country is in dire need of change, and we need everyone on board to keep speaking out. So, Leonard Schumann, continue to
Tabitha, Juretha, two things struck me. I don't know, in this whole travesty of the installation of Vishnu Prasad at GECOM there. The chairman, Claudette, as I keep saying on this program, crawls out from under the rock she hides under. every now and again. It's like you see her like twice per year. But she called out this afternoon and felt she had a need to tell the public
Justify.
why she voted for Vishnu Prasad. And it seems bizarre to me because, one, it seems that they didn't even follow the guidelines that they set out, the criteria that they set out to measure the candidates by. So they had this gentleman from Jamaica. All that was a set piece. We knew from the start they wanted Vishnu Prasad. We called it weeks ago.
Call it from day one.
So she goes out there to say, Tabitha and Juretha, that one, she read what Suraj Bali wrote sometime about Vishnu Prasad. I didn't know that was a criteria, Suraj
Oh
Bali's
my God.
praise of Vishnu Prasad. And then two, it was said that the person who is going to be CEO needed to have experience at a managerial level. And everybody knows every position that Vishnu Prasad held at GECOM was never one in senior management. This fella from Jamaica held all of those posts, eminently qualified, had so many elections under his belt. But these people use the slightest thing to give Vishnu Prasad and else. These jagabats at GECOM, Vishnu Prasad stand up well, he was passing in the walkway when Jagyo was standing there. They said, "Oh, he has interacted in the past with stakeholders." Jagyo barely tell you hello. He passed some Sierra Lynch sometime. He waved to she must even know who he be. She waved back. He said, "I've interacted with the diplomatic corps." You understand me? No substantive experience there, but this is the man that they wanted. And they got him. Thank you, Claudette.
Sharon, when I read the press release and what are attributed to her and what she would have said, I wasn't sure whether she actually wrote that. It As I read it, it went right back to what happened during the GCOM recount. If you and I think the leader of the opposition stated it this afternoon, it was quite always of shifting the goalpost. We had one decision that this is how we're going to go through the recount process. These are the steps that we're going to take. It has to go from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. And when we get to 4, then we're going to decide how it is we should proceed. And we recognize that as we open boxes and we unearth what was happening, that the goalpost started shifting. Right? You go to the GCOM office. So one day you agree that that you would not add in certain persons, and then the next day you're adding everybody together, and it's all one and in bulk. And so what I saw in that press statement today was quite frankly that. Because when you would have the prerequisites for the job was 10 years managerial experience, and then you come out today and said, well, Vishnu knows that all 10 regions of Guyana, and got an awesome
So any primary school child could be CEO of GECOM.
Exactly. And I think it's so unfair because I'm quite sure other persons could have gotten endorsements from other persons or Suraj Bali themselves. And also they also know the other 10 regions of Guyana. So if that is your basis for putting Vishnu there, then I think it's a far cry from where you started off as to what you required of the applicants. And it shows quite clearly that you're being quite biased in your assessment and in the decision that you made to choose who you chose as the CEO of GECOM.
Yep. Juretha?
You know, I have the whole recount, Sherrod and Tabitha, it shattered my trust in the system altogether because I had the privilege or for need of a better word, I've had the privilege of actually being in the recount from day one, each and every day, right through. So what Tabitha was speaking about is something that I experienced firsthand, something that I fought against every single day. And the fact remained that the same gentleman that went out today as president of this country, installed though he may be, the same gentleman that went out there is there because of a system that was not fair. The recount system, the amount of inaccuracies that went, and Tabitha just highlighted one that's very important: shifting the goalposts. And they did it in a way in which they spoke about basket of issues. You remember we're talking about GCOM, so
Yeah.
let's talk about
Yeah.
GCOM, all right? They had a basket of issues, and day one they had a basket of issues, and they had oh, this is how we're going to deal with that. And they so persons went out into the booths and they opened the boxes, and based on that those guidelines from day one, they actually counted votes and didn't count votes and so forth. Next week, a new basket of issues. There are a lot of baskets shared out during ARICOM. A new basket of issues. And they're going to say now, oh, well, we're not going to do it this way anymore. We're going to change it. We're going to do it the other way. So the votes that we were counting from day one, oh, we're not going to count those anymore. We're going to put those one side. And it was at the end of that process, with the amount of flaws within those process, that we have a government of Guyana today. So how dare they go out there and speak as to democracy? How dare they go out there and speak to fraud? You know, Sherrod, I'm going to actually ask you to do a program to actually look at like fraud and corruption and election rigging when it comes to the PPP, because I'm pretty sure I can put my hands on a book out there from an actual person, a leader within the PPP. He wrote an actual book speaking about the fraud and the rigging that goes on in their internal elections within the PPP. So every time they come out and they speak about these matters, I said they can't speak to me. The PPP can't speak to me about democracy ever. They have never ever demonstrated 1 ounce of democracy. Since day one they stepped in there, we are yet to see it. I have no faith in what is going on. And sad to say, we all could have projected and we all could have guessed where the chairman of GECOM's vote would have been. And that's very sad. That is a very sad state we're in as a country, when the entire nation could have predicted where her vote would have gone. It was like clear as day. No one would have lost their money if they had betted in that regard. And that is a sad state to be in a country.
And Rita, you know, I just want to say here, as I have you and Tabby on, in the entire time, and it's very telling, since Claudette Singh has been appointed GECOM chair, she has never,
not
once sided with the opposition on any issue. Never once.
And it is very
never once.
Those things are very
Why would she start now?
But Sherrod, you know, persons, the international community is out there. The international community is always watching, and that is why Irfan Ali went out and made all the statements that he made today, because he knows the importance of actually going out there and trying to project and portray that he's running a democratic country and so on and so forth. But when these things consistently continues to happen, there is nothing that he will be able to say, or any representative of his administration will be able to say, to convince anyone in the international community that it is otherwise. He is yet to reach with the leader of the opposition,
Yep.
but yet he goes out there and he says, oh, well, this is I'm governing this country in the right way. Never once has he engaged the opposition on matters of national concern. When you have the opposition in the opposition benches based on the votes from the recount and representing over 200,000 persons in this country, but he does not see the need to sit with the leader of the opposition when it comes to matters of national concern. He can't speak on behalf of the entire Guyana because he does not represent the entire Guyana. And dare I say, he doesn't even represent the entire PPP. You remember when he was named as a presidential candidate, Sherrod? You remember, Tabitha? You let me not go.
The onslaught, the vitriol,
this is not
the diatribes.
Let's not go.
I remember. Yeah, and you know, part of the larger discussion, Tabby and Juretha, is that the PPP feels that democracy means election. And once you vote, enough with that, right? Look at all of the commissions that are yet to be reconstituted. Integrity Commission, Judicial Service Commission, Police Service Commission, 18 months on. All of that is part of the democratic process.
But they don't believe that, Sherrod. I don't think they believe that at all, because if they had believed that, we would have had the local government elections ready, set to go. And we don't have
there
that.
You go.
Because they preach democracy and they preach it every single day, but they are yet to practice it. We, under the 23 years that they were in office, they had no local government election because This is the people that we're talking about. What they had were IMCs, if you could remember clearly. And that's what they want to go back to, because when you have an IMC, although, for example, although the region I'm from, Region 7, you know, the people can't go to Region 7 and win an election locally if their life depended on it. But because of that system, what they did was not hold local government elections. So them themselves took persons that are PPP representative and they install them as IMC representatives. And that's what they want to do again. They want to take away the power of grassroots leadership. They want to take away the power of persons to choose their local leaders, because they want to put a system back in place that they had before, that no matter where a region or community support, no matter who they support, once they're in government, they will determine that local leader for that community. So the people can't talk to me about democracy. They can't.
You see, Sharad, there's this thing in democracy you call form and substance. There's the form of democracy, right? You get elected or installed, and then you pretend to put systems in place, right? You may create laws that you never implement. You say that you're going through the process of bringing a person on the Public Procurement Commission, but it just takes long because we're having a lot of discussions. But we're in the process of getting it done. We have the Public Service Commission and the Ethnic Relations Commission, but we're having discussions on them. We are also awaiting on the opposition leader to recognize that I am president, so that we can start the constitutional things that need to be done, so that we could decide on who should be the head of the judiciary and all other constitutional agencies. And so there's a form that takes place. And once you can play the form game well enough, then people believe that they're living in a democracy. But when you come down to the substance, on whether the people on the ground feel as if they're in a democratic society, whether there is opportunities for all, whether or not when they get in, for some reason, they have to face the judiciary, or they have to go to court or something, whether or not they feel that they're being justly dealt with in that particular instance, whether the state, whether it's the police force, whether it's the public service, whether or not when they get into, they want to start a business, whether or not those processes actually work in a just manner and anybody can access it without fear of any issues, whether it be your race, whether your ethnicity, or whether your gender. Those are where the reality is. And the fact is that the majority of Guyanese recognize that the substance of democracy is not functioning, that there is no substance to the democracy that they claim that we're living on in Guyana, and it's actually quite obviously a dictatorship. Sharad, I'm going to raise something right now, which is
Go ahead.
something that is bothering me, which the two of you may know, which is our issue with Parliament right now. And it's another form and substance where democracy is concerned. They say that they'll have Parliament in a couple of days. I think we'll have Parliament after 64 days next Monday. And on that particular day, it is supposed to be Private Members' Day, which means that the opposition is supposed to take control of that particular sitting. But they have put the entire agenda as a government business. The no confidence motion against the Minister of Home Affairs
and Home Affairs.
Both of those motions are not on the agenda. They're saying that they sent it to the AG's office for his guidance. The gas store motion from that David Patterson brought to the House, they found a way to carry it to the courts, and now they're saying because it's before the court, we can't debate that issue. And I think there's another motion, the Henry Boyce motion. They say that they can't, that cannot come to the floor right now because they placed somebody before the court to charge for that particular the murders of the Henry Boyce. And so they find different ways to ensure that the opposition's voices are sort of stifled, even in the Parliament. So even though it is a form of Parliament, that we have Parliament on Monday, the fact that it's supposed to be Opposition Day and they have basically put the entire agenda with government work shows where it is they stand on what they call democracy. And basically it's about their voices and their agenda, and too bad for whatever the other half of the population is interested in.
Yep. We totally agree with you here, Tabitha, and all that you have said. They're wasting the public's time and the public purse in what they're doing in the National Assembly there, flying to Dubai and all over the place, besides conducting the public's business. Juretha, I want to thank you for being part of the program. Tabitha, I want to thank you for being part of the program as well. We have met program time, and we have to continue this discussion, deepen this discussion, because they believe that democracy and transparency and good governance end on the day you are selected and installed into office. But it's not like that. Ladies, I want to thank both of you for being in the ring this evening.
Thank you for having us, Sharon.
Yeah, Sharon, thank you for having us. But I actually, my final words, I actually want
Go right ahead.
to read this a few points, right? And I often tell people, go research for yourself. But for those persons that don't have the time, how to spot a dictator. Promises of saving the nation. That sounds like PPP to you? Do they
Very
all
much
promise
so.
to save the nation? Attacks to demonize the opposition. Does this sound like the PPP to you? Right?
It's
Reduction
them.
of national problems to a scapegoat. You remember the issue with the flooding in Georgetown? Oh, it's those people in the open.
Yep. And they still on the bandwagon.
Obedience over engaged citizen, because a dictator cannot stand dissent. They will.
That's not like Schumann to me and
a
others.
good citizen is an obedient citizen. There are many times, I mean, we've been discussing this so much. It has become a norm in this country that we are living in a society, in a country in which persons try to mute any dissenting voice and all of those things. But it is not acceptable. It's not normal. Guyana as it is, and it's being governed right now, we are in a desperate need for change, and everyone needs to understand we cannot continue going forward as though this is normal. Yes, a lot of persons were born and raised in this system, but this system is corrupt and we need to change it. So
And corrupt to the core.
those are my final words. Sharon, it was lovely to be here again. And good night to all your viewers. Tabitha, good night to you.
Good night, Juretha. Good night, Sharon.
Ladies, thanks very much. And folks, that's our program for tonight. And that's our program for the week, guys. Great having each and every one of you in the ring. Good having each and every one of you here with us this evening. Paulette Johnson, good to see you. Anne-Marie Selby, Onika Light, it's Michelle Solomon, Elisha Shalom, and Deborah Halley, Onika Light, Michaela Webster, good to see you as well. Daphne Aaron. Guys, before you go, thousands of you still watching us across the world, why don't you share the live stream for us? Hit that emoji button. Let's see how you guys are doing out there. Smash that emoji button for us. Those of you joining us in Christopher Jones' Facebook page, y'all don't just show up. Share the live stream. Up New AFC page, those of you joining us there, share the live stream as well. Those of you guys who are joining us on Alliance for Change page, share the live stream, folks. And the folks on the Shard Avery Duncan Facebook page, guys, y'all know what you gotta do. What you gotta do. We want this message to go far and wide. Let the world see what these trenches, these Jagabats, Hippocytes, Philistines, what they're doing to this beautiful country of ours, day after day, month after month. We gotta get rid of them. We gotta get rid of them, folks. We gotta get rid of them. Thanks for joining us, Joylyn Cook. Folks, we don't run on water. Come on board the man and partner with us. Deborah Halley, come on board the man. Leon Logan, and partner with us. Patricia Graves and Lee Goodman, come on board and partner with us. Good to see you. Samuel Mingo, Marcia Griffith, and Sandra Hanover, good to see you there. Desiree Rodriguez, good to see you as well. Joan Stephanie, good to see you. Joylyn Cook, Faith Fernand, it's good to see you there. All you folks, Elaine Springer, is it you? Good to see you, Elaine, and all you guys. Wherever you're joining us from, share the live stream and let's get this message out there. We got to keep them on the toes, folks. We got to keep them accountable. Make them accountable, guys. Help us to do this work at this end and share the live stream. Paulette Greaves, good to see you. Have a fantastic weekend, guys. Michelle Jones, good to see you. Warnella, good to see you as well. Good to see you, all of you guys, wherever you're joining us from this evening. I'm trying to catch some names. Some folks asked me to give them a shout out. Marlon, good to see you there, Marlon Thomas. Tasha Sillett, good to see you as well. Great to see you, Tasha. And all of the other folks, wherever you guys are joining us from, I'm trying to make sure that I touch everybody. I ain't want problems with people tonight. I ain't want problems. Good to see all of you who are joining us across the divide, across the world. Ronald Jacobs, good to see you as well. I've been showing that I touch everybody. Nurse, good to see you, Norris. Good to see each and every one of you. Rayon Samaru, good to see you as well. Paul DeAndrew, good to see you. Roxanne Odessa Jacobs, good to see you as well. Anson Lynch, good to see you. Seymour George, good to see you. Candy Naline Indigit. Well, once you know Candy's here, Mark is not so far behind. All of those folks who joined us below the belt during lunch or midday podcast, thank you and join us throughout the week. And all of you who joined us here in the ring, guys, we are grateful. Come on board, partner with us, help us to do more of this, help us to move this process forward, guys. Have a fantastic weekend. As you go, remember to social distance, Irfan Ali. Wear your mask, Irfan Ali. Sanitize, Irfan Ali. Practice all the COVID-19 protocols, Irfan Ali, that are in place, not only for your health, but that of your friends, family, loved ones, and people visiting this country too. Stay safe, guys, and have a fantastic weekend.